courthouse. There's courtrooms that way, courtrooms that way, and we got top flight security down there. All right, guys. So I'm gonna let these people introduce themselves and what they're here for and what we're here to seek today. I'm here to support Megan, as Megan supported me back when I was going through this. I felt that I needed to come down here and be there for her. It's been a roller coaster day, up and down, left and right. But I'm gonna let these other people. I'm gonna compose my thoughts, and then I'm gonna let these other people introduce themselves and have a few words. And if y'all have anything, any way to help, it would be useful. We're accepting thoughts, prayers, hopes, dreams, anything we can get right now. Comfortable being on camera? Are you comfortable being on camera?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Hi, I'm Susan Ben-Paul with LetOurBabiesGo.com, and I'm here to support Megan, and I represent a cause that people don't even know exists. They don't realize that every child in America is not safe. Any child can be taken. Megan is proving that. Any child can be taken from any person, rich, poor, doesn't matter who you are. And she's had her children kidnapped by, it's called CPS, DHS, DHR, CYS, it's many initials, but it's Child Protection Agency. And a lot of people don't realize that all of the child protection agencies in America, all 50 states, all have registered DUN numbers and are on the stock market. They are all private corporations, and they make a lot of money for their stockholders. And they do it by stealing children. There's been no genuine cause of complaint, any neglect or abuse that she has done to her children, ever. And she has had her children removed by what's called ex parte. And that's a secret proceeding where somebody goes and speaks to the judge in a private chamber and says, you need to take these kids because, and they do. And that's what's happened to her. And she's not been arrested for any crime. She's not been charged for any crime because there was no crime. There never is. And when you lose your kids, you won't be charged either. She's right now in a tribunal, an inquisition. And what's going on in here is no one's allowed in. You have to face a room of prosecutors, and you do not have due process rights. You do not have a way to really show your evidence, and you're not even given Miranda rights, which you do have, but you're not even told you have them. And so all the things of court are not the same as in a real court of record. This is not a court of record. This is a family court, which means it's an administrative hearing. The administrative hearing officer acts in the role of a judge, but he's not really a judge. He sort of like rubber stamps whatever DHR, CPS, CYS tells him to. The child is worth a lot of money on Title 4E under ASPA, which was passed in 1997. And so your kid is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
can we speak up just a little bit?
Up?
Can we speak up just a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah. Your kid is worth $100,000, I think, the first year. They get the money multiple directions. And so these kids, when they're taken, are worth fortune. And they're gold mine. And so they feed a big village, a village of lawyers, a village of professionals, a village of judges, social workers, a village of physicians, therapists, psych evals, all those groups they send you to that you don't need because you never drank alcohol in your life, but you pay to go to that group as a parent. You sign up for all kinds of programs that you don't even relate to anything because you never did anything to lose your kids. But you go to all these programs and it feeds a big village while you think you're going to get your kid back, and nobody does. So it's a very serious thing, and we're going to continue to follow Meghan's story, and the world is going to learn what happens to everyone in America that has this happen. They have to call the kids There's like 39,000 kids in America, and they're going to take 500,000, not 39 million, and they're going to take about 500,000 a year, and they get money, and the kids all have to be taken by October, because the way the federal budget works, in order to receive they get bonuses for stealing kids. In order to get the bonus, then you have to have the kid a little bit more kids taken every year in order to get the money. So when they get the bonuses, they only have to spend 6% on the child. 6%. The rest of it can go into the state, county, general fund. So they're making the village is getting fat. And the kids are dying. So Meghan's kids are grieving for their mama. They did nothing to deserve this. They're suffering horribly. And when our kids are taken, nobody rescues them. They're trafficked, they're sold, and they're gone forever. When kids die in foster home and in adoption homes, they don't tell the parents, because they've removed the parents. Parents are no longer exist. And so you understand that you have to protect your kids now while you still have them. You have to get involved. Meghan is a big name because of John Walsh, her dad. And she was discovering things about the NCMEC Foundation that she was working with and volunteering with. And she asked her dad some questions, and he took her kids. So those questions, we're going to be we're going to be sharing with you what they were, what she was finding out. And we're going to share everything we find out. And we're going to tell the world that no child is safe. I want to ask you a question. I know people are concerned about the 2A. I believe in the 2A. They're concerned about freedom of speech. I really believe in freedom of speech. They're concerned about religious freedom, freedom to your body to not take a vaccine. There's many things that people are concerned about right now, and every one of those things involve our constitutional rights. But what if you can't protect your own kids? Do you even have a nation? Really, think about it. And we can't protect, right now, we can't protect our own kids. I'm going to say one last thing about constitutional rights. The Constitution doesn't give us our rights. They're inalienable. That means God gave them to us. We were born with those rights. The Constitution only says that a government was made to protect our rights. That's why we have it. So, we the people need to stand up and protect our rights right now, because tyranny is bred generationally. Every generation seems to have to kick out a lot of evil. And this is a nest right here. And I think we should make Vero Beach famous. I think we should make the decisions on this day, when we find out what they were, what they become. They need to be very famous for what they're doing. In every county and every local government, people can address it, and they can deal with the local area, and they can change the way things are going in this nation. You have the power. You really do. You matter, but you have to do something. So anything you can do to help Meghan is going to help all of us. All of us. Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. Like I said, we're sitting here at the Indian River Courthouse, quite a ways up, and we've got a couple other people. I'm not sure if they're all willing to speak on camera or not, but we're gonna be alright. We're gonna be alive for a little bit. We're really not wanting.
I'll speak on camera if you want real quick, because I have patience.
Yeah, we're really not trying to see anything bad happen. We're not trying to see another family suffer.
You want to put you on camera? I can hold camera.
We're really not trying to see another family suffer needlessly, being ripped away or torn apart and literally scattered into the winds. I was the oldest of 7 children in foster care. I was the only one never adopted or placed with family. And when they put you in the system, one goes one way, one goes the other, another goes this way, and you lose that family unit. And these courts, they're here to destroy the family unit in such a way that there can be no family after they're done destroying it.
That's right.
And y'all have all seen the fight we fought. And Meghan supported me with that. And I'm here to support her. I want any of my people that's out there listening to please throw your weight behind this. I'm asking. I've seen she's capable. I've seen she's kind and caring. And I do believe she's a responsible parent. That is my belief. I am free to have that. Others are free to have their own beliefs, but no one has the right to take away someone's parental rights on a mere hearsay. What happened to innocent until proven guilty in the court of law? What happened to actual civil rights, due process? This, from what I've seen, has been a sham. There's been no one allowed to be there to witness. No court observers are allowed in. It blows my mind that I went through all the stuff that I did back in North Carolina, and we had all these people sitting there. And they
American Amy has asked you to speak up. Oh, no, American Amy, Ryan Blade in Euro News. How are you? American Amy knows who I am.
So here in Florida, they have it to where you cannot observe these court proceedings. Where in North Carolina, they'll pack the courtroom with cops and social workers and other sorts of government agents. While here, they're not allowed to have anyone that's impartial or fair, just there to observe. We're not allowed to see what actually happens. It's all kept very hush-hush and in the
So apparently, your old lady says for you to yell.
We'll get kicked out.
I don't have bond money till Friday, so. But we're gonna stay here. We're on the scene. There's a couple more people floating around that may actually want to do some interviews. We've got a few more things to say. I'm just drawing a blank for words. There's another guy wanting to talk. So we're gonna swap roles here. He's gonna
Yeah, well, absolutely. So, hello, folks. My name is Ryan Blade. I am the owner of a local news publication here in Indian River County, Florida, called Indian River News. I'm actually the only conservative news outlet in my county. I'm affiliated with Mr. Rhett Palmer's Real's Voice magazine, and Mr. Palmer has actually interviewed former President Jimmy Carter and Gerald Ford, along with the late Reverend Billy Graham, and also Mike Tyson, among many others. So, what I'm looking at my coverage of this, so I happen to how do I frame this? So, I was able to help get Meghan onto the Stu Peters show. For those who do not know who Stu Peters is, Stu has his own talk show where he talks about various things that are going on in the country. Stu is a family man and a former bounty hunter. So if you go to, I think it's stupeters.com, is the website on Rumble, you can look up Stu's channel on there. And Meghan has been interviewed by Stu Peters. There's also a local podcast called TGI Now that has had Meghan on the podcast for 2 episodes. Eddie Rivera, John Crappy, and Rondell Benton, great people. John actually took the live video of Meghan when baby Esther was taken from her home. My thing I'm looking at here is make sure there's no wrongdoing from my local government. So the judge in this case, Judge Robert Meadows, he is an elected official because the circuit judges here in Florida, we have circuit courts. This is the 19th Judicial Circuit, which consists of Indian River County, St. Lucie County, Martin County, and Okeechobee County. So St. Lucie County has the cities of Port St. Lucie and Fort Pierce. And then Martin County has the city of Stewart. So those are the major cities in those counties. Indian River has the major cities of Sebastian and Vero Beach. We're actually right now in the city limits of Vero Beach. So with that all said, Judge Meadows is an elected official, which he is reelected every 6 years as a circuit judge. So what I'm looking at here is to make sure that everything is being properly done in Ms. Walsh's case to make sure we do not have wrongdoing by an elected official. Case in point, Governor Ron DeSantis had suspended Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel because of inaction when the horrific Parkland tragedy happened. So, if I'm correct, the governor should be able to suspend a judge if there's an issue with that. There's also ethics stuff with the state of Florida that can step in and review Judge Meadows if there's an issue. So I'm not saying there is or there isn't any issues, but there has been heavy suspicions from a lot of people that there have been wrongdoing in this case. It's worth noting as well here in Indian River County, this is unfortunately where the severed head of Meghan's late brother Adam, it was found here in Indian River County. I actually happened to know the dispatcher who took that call, unfortunately, when that happened. So there's a lot of ties with the Walsh families in Indian River County. You can actually look up with our current sheriff, Eric Flood. Oh, too fast?
I was told in the chat to hold on. They was asking if John's been seen.
Oh, John Carapi?
No, John Walsh.
John Walsh has not been seen, so I can't comment on whether or not he's been in the courtroom or not. I have to defer that to Meghan's attorney, and there's a media person as well that they have with them. It's media relations, we'll say, the media relations that's been with Miss Walsh, you know, as of recent. So if I have any news stories that come out on my end, that's going to come from Christy, the media relations person. I want to make sure that nothing gets messed up in Meghan's case, that we want to be very careful with how this is being reported. So we want to make sure that the biggest thing is that Meghan gets her children back. That's the important thing. But again, we as the local publication, I'm looking to make sure there's no wrongdoing by Judge Meadows. And if there is, there are mechanisms in place to appropriately deal with this. Now, and for those wondering, what can you do to help Meghan? She has a Give, Send, Go. Just look up Meghan Walsh, Give, Send, Go. Then there should be a thing that comes up on any search engine. It should say, like, you know, Save Meghan's Kids or something like that. Click on that. Because look, if we can get 5,000 people to give $10, it's $50,000. That would definitely help pay a lot of the expenses of Meghan's case. It's not just attorney's fees, folks. There are filing fees as well that Miss Walsh has to pay. So if you, the listener, go on that Give, Send, Go, give at least $10. The more you can give, that's great. But if we get 5,000 people to give $10, right, to give $10, that will allow Miss Walsh to have the adequate funds to help continue this legal fight. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate that she's in this situation. Someone felt that she has been set up, you know, because of various reasons. I would say the best thing you could do is listen to the 2 TGI Now podcast episodes regarding Miss Walsh. I'm actually going back on the 16th. That's related to local politics here in Beaver County. If you want to listen in on that, that would make it great as well. I will say real quick, because there is something I'm going to bring up on the podcast. If for some reason you are wrongly sent a mail-in ballot, which I did actually get a phone call from somebody about, it was a one-off, of which mistakes do happen. You need to keep that ballot, and that can be used as, I'm not a lawyer, so talk to a lawyer about this, but that might be usable as criminal evidence if you're wrongly sent a ballot. I know here in Florida, if you request in 2020, your request will still be honored in 2022. Of course, I believe they changed the law, so now you have to request it every year. So that's just something to keep in mind. But yes, I'd like to thank Hunter, though, for coming all the way down here from where he's at. You know, it's quite a drive to get here. I know it's actually from north of the Florida-Georgia border. It's about a 4-hour drive south if you're following I-95 down to Indian River County. We're about an hour and a half southeast of the city of Orlando, just to give everybody an idea of generally where Indian River County is. That said, I don't really have much further, but if you want to maybe check out Indian River News, IndianRiverNews.us once in a while. If I have anything up about Miss Walsh, it'll show will be published there. Keep an eye on Stu Peters. Might go back on there. So, so rumble.com, set the search thing to channels, type in Stu Peters, Stu Peters Network. Look at that. When Stu has Meghan on, it'll be good stuff. And Stu's been covering a lot of things as well with relation to CPS abuse. And there was a documentary, These Little Ones, that came out. If you want to check that out as well.
Alrighty, folks. So the bad part about it is, from everything that I've seen, it's been a roller coaster. There's been some good, there's been some bad. But we won't know till the end. That's the bad part. We do know that she needs our help. We do know that we are at Indian River Courthouse. I have seen enough to know that there is no transparency here. Everything from the way that security behaves and treats certain people certain types of ways, which we all know that, the attorneys get treated a little bit different than the regular average person. But I have rarely ever seen an attorney ever treated the way I've seen today. Thank you for dropping the Give, Send, Go link, and thank you for tuning in, guys. I know we're probably streaming across a couple of different channels. Thank you for that. I've seen a couple of things that make me question the Judicial Code of Conduct. One of them being, what's it called? It's called, it's the second one. I can't remember what it is. It's the second canon of the Judicial Code of Conduct of Florida. That one's a big one. What's up, John Eagle? We are chilling in Florida. We're in, well, we're not chilling, we're stressing. I done bit my nails to the quick. But we're sitting here, we're trying to watch court. We're being denied that right. I'm trying to think. There was some stuff that I was wanting to talk about, and I can't remember what it was now. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay, so they came out for a break. They did lunch. They came out for a break. That's what it was. So a big part of this issue is that they recently got a new lawyer, and with the getting of a new lawyer, that has certain things to do with the trial and the case. So this is the lawyer's second appearance. She did have literally no time to prepare the case, and they pushed the issue this morning and pushed it to trial, which means that the lawyer did not have time to prepare for her case because she just got appointed or hired, however you call it, recognized as the attorney, in fact, at the last court date. What's up, DC? Thank you, Otto. But yeah, they're speed running her case through the court date today, pushing for this trial, knowing that the lawyer has had no time to prepare. And I think that's a no-no. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal expert, but I do know that some of these things that I have seen are not kosher. Like I said, Canon 2 of the Florida Code of Judicial Conduct, the fact of the right to due process, the several other things have happened. The little feller is Indiana River News. He's an actual, like, legit, he's got his own publication and all that. Like, he's independent of everything, but he claims to be the only, he claims to be the only conservative news outlet in the area. What's up, Salty? Mahalo. Instead of y'all showing me, I'm gonna show y'all that. But yeah, the rent-a-cops are out here in force. I've actually seen them escort several people in and out of the room, but it's always the opposing side. It's never anyone else. It's always the opposing side. So I guess for some reason they're scared. But yeah, I just feel like if you're scared, go to church, man. Just go to church. Get right with God. Don't be scared. But I'm hoping to have an update within the next hour to hour and a half. It's almost 5 o'clock. And we're hoping to do a press release after this is done and over with. I'm hoping. Don't quote me to that because I'm not the PR guy. But I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping for good news. I really am. It's not too late for us to be heard. We can still make our voices known. How you do that's up to you. I personally address my government with vulgar language, but I do so in a proper time, place, and manner. Well, I've seen court dates go on past 6, 7 o'clock if they're really trying to actually get the trial done and down to get it done that day. And with them speed rushing this trial through like that, the lawyer didn't have any time to prepare a case, organize witnesses, none of that. This is exactly like when you say you've been railroaded up a tree. You've been railroaded up a tree because your lawyer quit, and then you got to go to trial the next time you come to court. Like, how does... He's not supposed to be able to make a decision today. He's not. Because he's not supposed to have done the trial today. Because the trial prep usually lasts about 6 weeks. And I think this lawyer got a week, maybe? Literally, like a week. But I'm waiting on this other person to see if he gets off the phone in time to do his portion of what he wants to say. But we are at the Indian River Courthouse in Florida.
How's it going, man?
Pretty good.
All right.
I'm a little teapot. Yep, that's right, DC accuracy. Indian River Courthouse. And they're not doing nothing today. They're not really busy. We're just sitting. I want to ask him lots of questions, but I don't want to get kicked out of the courthouse. There's a phone call over there, so we can't go over there yet. Let's go look around. Something tells me this map is not up to date. Oh no, it's a security concern. Yes, we'll definitely ask after Meghan is done. We'll ask lots of nice questions. But we're really just hanging. I'm biting my nails to the quick. We're just hanging out, waiting to see any sort of update, any kind of anything, because we're stuck on, like, out on a limb, waiting on any word of anything. Now that is an interesting fact. I'm behaving, guys. I'm behaving, I promise. Oh, God, by the way, I'm no longer allowed in any courthouse wearing these shoes. They contain too much. They contain too much metal. Apparently, it sets off metal detectors, so I'm no longer allowed to wear these shoes anymore when I go to court. There's like little silver flakes, little teeny specks of metal from where I was grinding something, but it set off the thing. Thank you for that, DC. And for those guys that aren't aware, Florida is a two-party consent state. Now, I'm not a lawyer, nor do I offer any sort of legal advice, but check your own local laws and listings for any telecommunications that you decide to engage in. I know some of y'all are distant, so you might want to email, public records requests. You might want to ask how much someone gets paid if they're particularly snobbish or something. You might want to pull their calendar off their desk and have their lawyer go through all the trouble of redacting it just so you can have a copy of the stuff that's not redacted. Or you could come to a courthouse and sit around like these folks and not get paid for it. Which is everyone else in the court date, right? The judge, the prosecutor, well, whatever you want to call a prosecutor in this case, the defense attorney, the only two people here that are not getting paid is the one parent who they're citing against, so that would be Meghan in this case, and the GAL. Everyone else in this room has a monetized incentive to stay in this room for as long as possible and to keep everyone else coming back to that room for as long as possible, because guess what? They get paid more and more and more each year to take more and more kids each year. Now, does that mean that more and more kids are getting hurt each year? Or do they just need to fill their coffers and justify their bloated budgets? That's my take on it. It's a nice, pretty day out here, right? Is that a news chopper? There's a news chopper or something up there. I'm waiting to hear some sweet, sweet music, guys. Then again, that's just me. I want to hear, like, the harps angels when Meghan comes out the courtroom and she's smiling. That's what I want to hear. And I pray that all of you guys that are watching on whichever channel, whichever platform this is streaming to, I hope that y'all hope is. I've actually met her now in person. She's very kind, very caring, very willing to go the distance. And the fact that she's coming through all this and doing all of this stuff, coming to all these court dates, which is costing her more money than most people would make. Well, Amy, I want lots of prayers, but I got enough of Eric in me that I want some hopes and dreams too, but we all know how that goes. We just got to keep our hopes and dreams to ourselves. We can't share those. Oh wait, would that be considered freedom of expression? So it's the final countdown. I've got 50% on my battery, and I'm just trying to bide my time, make sure I'm here when she comes out, because either way, she's going to need all of our support. It's not easy adjusting to life after this. It's not easy dealing with the trauma. If you've ever experienced this and you was lucky enough to be reunited with your family, and mommy goes to the gas station and you can't figure out why the kids are all screaming and crying and won't let go of her leg, it's because they don't want to miss mommy again. They don't want to miss daddy again. They don't want to miss their loved one, all because someone called and made up some lies on the telephone. And that's what they did. They called and made a couple of phone calls, and boom. Now there's people coming and kicking doors in. Literally kicking doors in and taking babies. So, hey, Tapatitos, Copwatch, thanks for the sub. So if we start looking back in history, when people are fighting over babies, the traditional answer is to cut them in half, and whoever, is willing to let go is the one that gets the baby, because they're the one that loves the child the most. Well, this is not how it works here. Not in America. Here in America, we have rights. We have rights. We have parental rights. We have civil rights. And we have freedoms. Like, we can't forget the freedoms. We have the freedoms. The Constitution ensures that. And this is killing me. The suspense is killing me, guys. No, my battery isn't with her, Amy. Hey, code. If y'all don't know anything about that, TrueTube.live for your best censor-free streaming. It's moral and legal. Don't go doing no fuck shit now. Whoops. That's the first F-bomb I've dropped all day. So the thing is, with the UK, they actually have different rights and freedoms. Like, y'all's cops are way nicer than ours. Our cops we're gonna kill you first and then we're gonna investigate later. Oh, come on. I thought government workers wanted to get off early, man. It's only when they want to crucify someone that they work late. Thanks, Tapatitos, man. Work hard, kick some ass. What was I saying? Damn, if I could only rewind my stream. So there's really not much to see. There's wing of the courthouse here, unused, of course. I could find it. No audio or video recording permitted in this courtroom. Please be advised, this courtroom is equipped. The irony. Uh-oh. Oh no. There's a phone number. Why would we want to request a bailiff? Oh, now I'm just going after it, guys. I got nothing better to do but sit around and twiddle my thumbs. And oh, by the way, there's also some loose electrical wires down on the first floor. So if anyone knows the fire marshal for Indian River, if anyone knows the fire marshal out here, there's a couple of fire codes and hazards in this building. Hey, the media room. There's a lock. It's the media room, but there's a lock. I'm not touching it. So this is the view that will hopefully be her view of victory. That sun's beaming down nice and strong. So, courtroom's down that way. And the judge's name is Judge Meadows. Yeah, I mean, if there's no witnesses, then it's he said, she said, government official, they're going to believe the government official over the private individual, even though in jury instructions it says specifically that you must not believe a police officer or a sheriff's deputy just because they have a badge. So I'm going to mute and go see if there's anyone else that wants to talk real quick and make sure I'm not recording any phone calls accidentally. So, guys, bear with me as we walk slightly away from the courtroom so that we are not alleged to be disturbing the courts or the process or trespassing. We don't want to get trespassed. You cheap bastards can't even turn the air conditioning on. Sorry. Keep hotter than hell in here. What the hell? Okay, so this is probably far enough. We go just outside of the. I don't see anything going on in there.
Hey everyone, so lots been going down today. Megan is out there being basically roasted over the coals. The legal system here, for as we all know, CPS court is not a legal system. So a lot of emotions are in the courtroom. But right now, what Megan needs is a lot of prayer. Financial support still. We just had money fall through that we thought we had. If there's anybody in this region that wants to offer her a job, she's looking for a job. Housing. We had a house lined up and it got pulled out from underneath us at the last minute. She had people that she was staying with, that she had a house, for the homesteading and everything set up. They filed against the owner of the home a felony charge so that she could not live there because that would be with a felon. So the level of backstabbing, the level of contrivancy in this case is beyond obtuse. So right now, definitely we need prayer and everything else. We need your support. I know on the Give, Send, Go, it has a different name. Funds are going to Tamara. I was the person that set it up, but I assure you all funds are going to Megan. That was just the person who set it up, and they really are not the technology type. They have to change that back. We have to change that back, but we don't have the login, and the person is busy, and life is very, very complicated in a short amount of time. So once again, I'd like to guide every single person out there to continue to pray for us, to continue to reach out and support. Yeah, that's what we need, prayer and support in all ways, everything from homes to jobs and everything else. She has a home over her head now, but it's insufficient for childcare. We had another house set up for us, and that person pulled out last moment. So it's been like that every single day. We've been fighting every single day like that.
So, by the cops actually placing a charge on her live-in or her place of residence, how does that play into the belief that there's got to be more to this with them doing that not only cost her housing and what would have been stability, but in that video I watched a cop come out with such contempt in his voice for Megan that it made it clear that he has no professional courtesy, concern, or respect for the badge.
Well, think about this. Without knowing the person or the scenario or anything, this officer came to the scene with an attitude. Now, we all know cops come to the scene with an attitude, but most cops have come to the scene with objective attitude. They're simply doing their job. This officer and officers came to the site with a clear attitude against Meghan. So if that does not spell that John Walsh is directly um, manipulating the law, I don't know what else would be the case of that. The officer's own attitudes show that they have intent for her, and there's no valid reason for it.
Sorry, man.
Running low on the battery, huh?
No, I just don't want to. Just gotta slow charge.
Ah,
And this way it keeps it topped up. Sorry about that, guys. We lost a bit of signal there. I turned the. See, there it goes again. Rotate device.
so
Alright, we're
right
back.
now, immediate needs are, we had a problem with Zelle, unable to transfer a certain amount of funds at a time. We had to pay some lawyers' fees that are significant. So we were only able to transfer, $500 a week, and we had $1,000 transferred into it. So we're short $500 for a whole week because of Zelle's poor service and disclaimers. So we need to raise $500 in a few hours, like by 5. That's not a few hours, that's like minutes.
Yes, it's only moments away.
Yes. So we're asking for a miracle. If you can give to Meghan Walsh's Give Send Go. So that's just givesendgo.com/Meghan Walsh. MEGHANWALSH. Anything will help. We only got to raise $500. I'm going to try to do some more magic, spin some numbers, but you have to understand this has been a theme every single day for us. Every single day we wake up, I go over, figure out what's the problem of the day, get her set up, and we start tackling these problems of finance. We start tackling these problems of housing and everything else in between. And we've been doing that, and it's slow going because it's real hard to get someone back on their feet when they've literally had everything kicked out from underneath them, had a baby ripped out from her arms, all of the emotional stress. It's almost impossible to function. Thinking your kids got taken away, your baby got ripped out of your arms, and now you're just some person floating in the wind. So we are. I have been working very diligently to help Meghan get back on her feet, but it does take a community. It does take every single person to pull their weight and step up and say, "Hey, I'm going to make a difference today." And I really need strangers. I need friends that I know for years are helping me. But I need strangers to come help Meghan. She needs everyone right now. We're fighting a huge shadow, and it's really not that much light that we have to shine, but we have to file these paperwork. If we don't file the paperwork, then this court here, we don't have much hope in, honestly. I want to be optimistic and everything, but this is a kangaroo court that we're in. So we really need to file to get to appellate court, and we need the funds for that. And so we're real close, but we have to get it, and it's almost seizure-inducing, the level of stress of trying to raise this money at the last minute. But we're trying our best. The whole team here is.
So that link's been floating around in and out of the chat, guys. We've been in court. We've actually been here since 9 this morning. Me, him, the other guy, and the lady have all been here all day. And we're hopeful that she's gonna come out that door smiling. We hope that. But being the wise men we are, knowing how the police around here behave, seeing the things that we've seen, we know that there's still that chance that she's gonna come out that door in tears. And oddly enough, it's a coin toss because either way, she's going to come out in tears, good or bad. So we can't say that she's going to come out in tears.
Can't say it's a bad thing, guys. But if she's smiling, that's what we want. So we need you to all pray for her smiles.
So that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for the tears of joy, guys. That's what we're hoping to see today, and tomorrow, and the next day. We don't want to see people torn down and just destroyed. We don't want to see people dragged through the ringer for what? For a little bit of political gain? For a publicity stunt?
I had to run downstairs.
All right. So that brings me back to one of my bigger points of this issue. Meghan has a family. Meghan's family's been torn apart multiple times by one instance. And it's it's a shame that they can pick one parent over, or they can pick one child over another and leave the other to the wayside like they did. Makes you really wonder if they really give a damn. Now, John Walsh, I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to you playing favorites there, mister. I'm not your daughter. I have no respect for you. I don't care to. Not from what I've seen. And from what you showed me, not from what she said, from what you showed me, sir. You chose to leave one of your children, one of your grandchildren, I mean, in the system because you're not cut out for it. What type of person are you? Like, I mean, you can't change a diaper. So yeah, there's that. I'm sorry for that angry rant. But it's the final countdown, guys. We got hopefully less than an hour, and we'll know something more. I'm not sure if we will get outcome today. They might just delay the trial, like continue it on to the next day. But it's very rarely do they schedule trials for one day and then they wind up taking two. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off here for a minute. Or no, I'm just gonna mute. Actually, I'm gonna mute. No sense in. I kind of can't talk when I see someone on the phone because I know how Florida is. So I've got, whenever I see someone on the phone, I have to mute it. I have no choice. I'm sorry, guys. Hey guys, I'm gonna end for a bit. Thank you for coming in. I'm gonna let my phone charge up a touch more. We've got another half hour or less, but bear with me. I'm gonna do some more talking. I was doing some things in the background. Please stay tuned. Please pray for Meghan, and please, for the love of Blob, bring Meghan's kids home.